As Mexican Americans, bro, the three things that are constant and consistent growing up is God, family, and work ethic.
Yeah. Self-education will make you a fortune, right? A formal education will make you a living.
You know, the most successful people in this world are those who can adapt quickly.
Carlos Reyes on the humble show. Yeah, we all in. Yeah, we all in. So grab your boys now, cause you know we all win. Lift your hands up.
Welcome back to the All In Podcast, where the truth is unedited. I am your host, Carlos Reyes. And today you want to stick around because we are going to dive deep into why we Mexican Americans have not been able to scale our businesses here in America over the last 100 years. But before we do that, I want to introduce the co-founder of the Empresarios Movement that's joining us today, Mr. Virgil Contreras, Mr. Virgil B. Contreras. What's up, brother?
What's going on, bro? Thank you for having me on here and being accompanied by these great gentlemen next to me. It's beautiful, bro. I'm excited.
It's going to be a good one, huh?
Yep, it's going to be a great one.
And to his right, I got the man, the myth, the legend, the most interesting man in all industries, Mr. Zady! Matos locos. And to my left, I got my business partner of over a decade. We call him El Cerebro, aka the brain, Mr. Sal Shakir. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, so let's get to it, man. Right, Virgil. I mean, you're the epitome of an owner operator that has scaled their businesses, and the reason why I'm using you as an example is because you're in the trades. Like the landscape company that, you know, you added obviously hardscape to it, and you know you evolved and you grew and you duplicated yourself, you know, year over year, has allowed you to live a different type of life this, you know, now in your life versus when you started your company. So let me ask you this, brother. Why do most Mexican American business owners, how come they just can't do it? How come they can't duplicate themselves? How come they can't scale their businesses?
For sure, lack of education, how we grow up. I think when I think of my life growing up, I look at the circumstances, and most Mexican Americans are not able to escape those circumstances. You know, you look at a guy like me, 3 years old, my father goes to prison for 20 years. That was a super big hardship, right?
That's crazy.
Single mother raising me and my two older brothers. So you got me 3, Joaquin is 4 years old, and then Carlos, the oldest, is 7. And then I was like, all right, single mom, your husband is in prison. Now it's time to raise these 3 boys, right? Growing up in the worst parts of Phoenix, just grinding it out. And I think majority of our people have similar stories. Now, I don't know about everybody having their father locked up in 20 years in prison, but definitely low income jobs, but no education, like nobody to guide us early on. When I think I consider my first mentor, you know, one of my baseball coaches when I was probably right around like 11, 12 years old. And I started to just open my mind a little bit when I was 10, 11, because I had another man trying to guide me. Like, hey, son, you shouldn't be getting in fights. Hey, you shouldn't be hanging out with those guys that are smoking weed or doing all this kind of, you know, just stupid things going on, right? So definitely lack of knowledge, no guidance, ignorance too, right? You look at your, you know, even like my mom, you know, I mean, she would always be like, oh, don't do that. Don't talk to strangers. Don't do this. Don't do this. Just stay put, you know, just keep working your job, whatever, right? Majority of us Mexican Americans, that's how we have our parents growing up. They tell you not to do that. And it's like, it's holding you back from going and meeting the people you should be shaking hands with. So early on, it was like, I had to just start finding my way out, and it was just opening up my mind, the mindset. Dude, when I was growing up in the south side of Phoenix, I thought that like that was the world. I didn't know there was like Scottsdale, Peoria, Chandler.
Damn.
Straight up. Tucson.
You were in
like,
that bubble.
Yes.
Wow,
it was like
close,
and it was just a closed mindset. I didn't know that until I was like 12 when I started playing baseball, and I was like, we're going to another city? I was like, what? Scottsdale, what is this, you know? And I think it starts with that. It's like opening up your mind. So, So for me, it was like getting into baseball. You know, I consider myself, I was a pretty good baseball player. And then just learning discipline, with the baseball coaches, having those mentors. So definitely opening up your mind has a lot to do with it, for sure.
I love that, bro. Personal development. What's this?
Shout out
Ready?
to my baseball coaches, by the way. Paul Ferrero, I'll never forget you, man. 7th grade. Jared Aker, Alex Alonso. Those guys, they guided me, man. They gave me so much advice.
I
Shout out
love
to
that.
those guys.
You know, you said something very powerful, brother, that just like, boom, it just, it brought out something that I remember about my, you know, even my upbringing with my mom, right? So my mom is an immigrant to this day. She's still not a citizen. She's been an immigrant here for over 30 years or something. She got her paperwork through Amnesty in California. She was working the fields in Bakersfield, California. That's how she received amnesty, and that's how she became a legal immigrant in this country, right? Well, growing up, you know, I saw her work her tail off. I saw her work and work and work. I saw her work sometimes 2 or 3 jobs at a time, where I think she only slept 3 to 4 hours per day.
Jeez.
She had no life. I know there was at least a 2 to 3 year run of that, right? Where she was working at a temp agency, and she was working at the school in the cafeteria serving breakfast, and then she was doing her night job, her overnight job at the airport. So she had 3 jobs at one point. And the most that one job paid was $8.25. And then, so once you add up all 3 jobs, then you kind of had somewhat of a living. You know what I mean? But here's what I remember about growing up with my mom. My mom never told me that I couldn't do something, right? She never told me that, oh, you can't do this or no. My mom always told me what not to do. But she never, you know, and which is, God bless her heart, right? Like she always said, hey, don't do drugs. Hey, go to school. Like, hey, don't miss school. Don't hang around with gang members, right? Don't do this. Don't do that. So that, you know what? I'm grateful for that.
Did you listen?
I did. But I'll tell you what, she never told me what to do because of ignorance.
Wow.
So what didn't she tell me? She never told me about building my credit. She never told me about learning about finances. She never told me about money management. She never told me about personal development. She never told me about business ownership, about asset ownership. See, that right there in most Mexican American households, we're not having those conversations.
I think like 99%, bro.
See that?
Straight up.
99% of the Mexican American household is not having those conversations.
everybody's in survival.
Why though?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody in survival. Most of us are in survival.
Yeah.
But the biggest reason
Ignorance.
is because of ignorance.
Ignorance.
We just don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. And
You
it's,
know?
but that another thing I want to add to that is like, okay, let's say you come up that way, right? The family isn't there to teach you, but then what do you got? You got music, you got movies. These 2 are huge influences. But what are movies and music teaching you, bro? How to gangbang, how to like Vatos Locos, right? Like it's like
Orale.
American Me,
American
Blood in,
Me,
Blood
bro.
Out. Why isn't it about like, why is it when you see a Mexican American
why
in
isn't
a
it
movie, why
about,
aren't they a businessman?
Yeah.
You know, why
About,
aren't they coming up? Why aren't these successful
Scarface,
businessmen?
bro. Throw
Why are
Scarface in there.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Latino.
it's
It's kind
a
of
little
a
bit,
business movie.
what happened? He led him to death, right?
He did build an
He
empire.
built an empire, but it led him to death.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is like the system isn't really helping, but it's a different time now, bro. Things are changing, bro. This movement is huge. This movement with you guys, with Cerebro.
El Cerebro.
El Cerebro.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm excited to see the impact that it's going to make, bro. Because I'm talking to people on the phone, you know, and I'm talking about your stories, and I could feel the change on the phone call, bro. They're not even at the event, and I feel the change on the call.
Wow.
Then-
What is the inspiration?
Then
They're
I get-
inspired. They're like,
Then I get them on with you, and then boom, it's another one. It's another like ceiling just broke. They broke through another ceiling, and now
Because it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real.
Exactly.
because this is real.
It's real. We're real. It's real. The movement's real.
That's right. That's why
It's
we're
not,
back.
it's not a fugazi
No.
or
No.
scheme.
Hey, we gotta make real hats and real shirts. But with the Empresarios E, not the A or even the Bradley. That's the Bradley Rhino right there.
Yeah.
Just real, exactly that font. But with the Empresarios E.
That's fire.
Real hasta la
Real and
muerte.
real and real. That's universal. Real and real.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Spanish.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Sal, I know that business ownership, bro. You've owned the business since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously you're an immigrant.
Yes.
Your parents are immigrants, you're an immigrant, and we mirror very similar cultural values and practices, right? You know, the Arabic community and the Mexican American community, right? Would you be considered the Arabic American? Wait, are you guys even there yet? Like, where Arabic people are like, we're Arabic American, what's up, right?
Are
you guys there yet? Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, bro. I've been to your parties, bro. I've been to your parties.
The Hispanic movement mobs, the Mexican movement mobs. Yeah. We're not as big, but in Michigan they have that. Okay. In here we're not like that, but in Michigan we might have a few.
Okay, yeah. So you've been in business since 2009. You're an immigrant.
Yes. Why
do most Mexican American business owners never really scale their business? And we're breaking our backs until we're 60, 70 years old. And then we have no retirement plan because we don't even know about retirement plans. Most of us, right? Most immigrants don't know about retirement plans. We don't know about 401ks. We don't know about the stock market. We know about the mattress, right? Right. We're like, shh. We make it rain under the mattress, right? So what do you think? What do you think's going on, bro? Why haven't we been able to make a dent in business ownership and business scaling over the last 100 years?
I might be able to tell you my perspective from being an immigrant from another part of the world immigrant. And I know why I think this is my perspective is that in the Mexican community in here, there's a lot of Mexicans, especially at least in Arizona. I know there's a lot of Mexicans here. It just became a normal way of life when there are so many people here are struggling. It became a perpetual way of living because there's so many are not educated. They came here to survive, to flee from poverty, to flee from
corruption,
just problems,
or problems like the government, and in your case where your dad was abusive and he was corrupt in the government, right? So they come here, they're starting from zero, and that start in itself is so harsh that it doesn't allow them it doesn't give him the freedom or that gap to acquire enough knowledge to go into the next level. However, because there's so many of it, and people come in here, they see their fellow Mexican, they see their cousins, they see their brothers, they see their sisters, that's just a normal way of living. So where does inspiration come from? From that same circle. So
from los empresarios.
Well, now it is.
Hit the oof button.
We need to get an empresarios button.
Right.
So have Zady be the one to record that.
but in itself, and the reason I'm trying to say this in itself, because I'm an immigrant myself, but when we came here, there's nobody. We didn't have a lot of people here. So what do? We try to mirror the unknown, and the unknown was everything else that we have, and I just went out there and tried to get it. Right? We fled the country. We were being shot at. My dad got shot. Thankfully survived. They killed my cousin. They tried to kidnap me and my brother multiple times. We fled Iraq overnight with our house full of bullet holes.
Jesus,
because they broke in the house. And
you were physically like getting like attacked.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, I was a child and I had a gun. I had a Colt 45 under my pillow. And then after this first time,
how old were you when you had a Colt 45?
11 years old.
Dang, that's crazy,
man. And then when they broke in our house the first time, I had an MP5 and a knife.
Oof.
And that was like as a kid. And
what was the mindset at that time? Was just survival mode?
Survival to the fullest. Like I didn't even
bro, they're trying to kill him.
I would sleep with watching. My mom would stay up at nighttime, and we all slept after the first time they broke in. We all slept. See, man, I get like emotional talking about this. My mom would be up. And I would wake up in the middle of the night, like 3 or 4 in the morning, and she's just up. And I know what she's doing. She's watching under the light under the door. Because the first time they broke in and they shot my dad, she saw shadows and she screamed and they ended up shooting my dad. Thankfully, he survived.
Why are they trying to break in?
Who's
trying to break in?
So we're Christians. And the second thing, we worked with the U.S. military. When after the war, my dad
You were considered a traitor.
We were considered not just traitor. If they killed... the radicals, if the radicals killed us, they're told that they would go to heaven, even if they died. trying to kill us, right? So we were kind of a ticket to heaven, right?
Why? Because you
We were Christians and we were working with the U.S.
So they were told that they would go to heaven if they killed you.
Correct. So I mean,
and they believed it.
of course.
See, that's why the Middle East, bro.
Yeah.
That's why the Middle East is a mess, bro. If you
Yeah.
got people still believing that type of propaganda,
Well, yeah, I mean, this is not. By the way, like Islam doesn't really teach that, but the radicals.
no,
of
I'm
Islam
saying
teach that,
the
right?
Middle East. There's a
Putting the
lot of
fear in
ignorance
people,
in the
right?
Middle
Yes,
East. There's-
yes, that
Putting the
is.
fear in people, right?
Mexico, bro. There's a lot of ignorance in Mexico. Don't get me wrong. We're way behind, but you guys in the Middle East, bro. You guys are pretty behind, bro.
Absolutely, I agree.
I mean, you're
agree.
pretty behind, bro. You're still throwing shoes at people's faces to disrespect. Yes or no? That's a big thing, right? You throw a shoe at somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
that was
That's what I'm
what
saying,
that was
bro. At
when-
least in
when
Mexico,
Bush
they're like
was in.
blasting people. You know?
I
You
mean,
guys are still throwing
I'd like
shoes
to think
at
that have
people, bro.
advanced since 2006 and now, you know. But however, so she would be up at night, and I would tell her, "Mom, it's okay, go to sleep. I'll watch under the door." Right. And when we came here, like that was all survival. Like survival was just us to survive that night and that day, not to get killed. When you're going to school, to avoid being shot at, and you would see an explosion go off.
What a
you know.
childhood, huh? Growing up like that, man.
What a childhood,
Damn.
bro.
That's crazy.
But you know what? I'd like to think that this is what that's what
Hell
makes us,
yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
fortifies you and makes you who you are today.
So, bro, what did it take though in your mind to like escape that?
Bro, I didn't know.
Physically
to
escaping.
me, that was just a way of living. It was scared. Like you would be scared. You would have anxiety every night. You would be scared going on the street because somebody can stop and kidnap you. A bunch of my neighbors died, whether from explosion, whether somebody broke in to kidnap them and for ransom and they end up killing them, or just because of radical ideas.
By
or
the way, I
thoughts.
wanted to reel you back in.
Yeah.
And again, right? Survival.
Well, that's
Yeah, business owners and survival, Mexican and
but when I
immigrants and
came
persecution.
here.
Yes.
When I came here, the only difference between Mexicans and I would say in my case or in Arabs, with Arabs is that there is not a lot of us. So what do we try to do? We just try to go and get it. We don't like to settle because there is no example. It's okay for settling, and it's kind of a shitty hand that you guys are dealt. Mexicans are dealt with a shitty hand because there's so many of them in here, so many of you guys in here, and it became this perpetual way of living that it's normal to go and exchange your hours for dollars for labor, right? And I'm not saying that it doesn't have in our culture is not there. It absolutely is there, but there is not as much. So it's
bro,
not.
that's
It doesn't
deep.
feel as
That is.
comfortable,
That's deep.
Yeah.
right?
That's deep, by the way. That's deep because it makes so much sense. You're right.
Yeah. To
You're right.
your mom and to your mom, to her telling you what not to do. This is the ultimate way of serving you.
Yeah.
But
To keep us safe.
to keep you safe,
To
of
keep
course.
us safe. Yeah.
But if she had been influenced by another fellow member or whoever that is, that there is this other way of education, there's
She
this
would've
other
taught
way
that.
of making it happen, like how Empresario is doing it right now, then she might have installed that one thing, even passively, to you or to you.
Yeah.
Passively saying it in one night. Hey, by the way, try to learn from other people. Try to seek mentors, even if at a simple level, even at school level, even at friendship level.
Yeah.
That might have changed. That might change a lot of people's perspectives. Their family's trajectory, their whole family tree trajectory.
I think it's not an asset until you're conscious of it. Then it becomes an asset because, like in your guys' situation, I feel like if you know the saying, survive in New York, you can make it anywhere. Fuck that, bro. You survive in Iraq, you can make it anywhere, bro. Like that's why when you're in negotiating with somebody, they might be nervous to negotiate. Be like, bro, my dad was shot at. People try to kidnap me. This negotiation, I'm not nervous in this negotiation. That's when it becomes an asset. In your guys' situation, coming up without a father figure, a strong male influence, and you're able to be in this position, you know exactly what was lacking.
But guess what?
So you know exactly what to say to be that.
Yes. Yes, I agree. But I'll tell you what, just like Sal said, most of us, most Mexican Americans, we face some hardcore challenges growing up, right? We face some
Can't even
hardcore
imagine,
challenges.
bro.
And guess what, though? Here's the thing. I think every Mexican American faces some pretty hardcore challenges, right? Some hardcore circumstances.
And stereotypes.
But the only thing that we know, the one thing that is consistent, there's actually two things that are consistent. Let's go. Three things that are consistent growing up as a Mexican American and the type of programming that we received. Number one is God.
Yep.
Number two is family. And number three is hard work.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Boom.
No one can compare.
That's what at least That's what at least allows us to like get out of the red and the hole that we're born into.
Can't outwork a Mexican,
Right?
bro.
That you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
You
like
can't outwork a Mexican.
Yes.
we apparently, bro, every time we say that on the internet, it goes viral. Right?
Yeah.
You can't outwork a
I ain't even
Mexican.
Mexican and I'm
They're like,
saying
yeah,
that,
you're
bro. What the
right.
fuck?
I got black people in the
I
comments. Like,
attested
yeah,
that.
bro.
By the way.
Yeah,
I'm on the other side of the immigrants. And I
Mexicans
attested
work-
that 100%.
Bro, Mexicans work for you, and you're a hard worker. See what I'm
That's
saying?
why he hires them.
Right? so yes, as Mexican Americans, bro, right? Because I'm gonna throw you the ball. The 3 things that are constant and consistent growing up is God, family, and work ethic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's a good start. You know, I remember growing up, my mom always just putting that inside my mind. You know, just tienes que creer en Dios, mijo. You know, trust the process, let it all play out how it's supposed to. And it's tough because it's like who does she have to look at? You know, like to
So
look
where
up
does she
to?
even
Nobody.
get that
Yeah.
from?
Where?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
this is where like me growing up in my experience, that age when it was like, I don't know, I was maybe like 16, 17. That's when I started to just look at her and say, dang, like I'm gonna have to take care of her. I gotta be that man that my father never was. So I had to go seek the knowledge. And for me, God has been a big part of my life for sure. And I'm thankful that she was able to put that into my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Why don't we start there, by the way? Okay. Bro, maybe it's the fact that you grew up in the States, but because it was definitely not the households. Like, what even sparked a flame or planted a seed in your brain of like, I need to go and develop myself? Like, how old were you when you first were like, I can learn from other people. I can learn from mentors. I can learn from coaches. I can learn from podcasts. I can learn from reading books, right?
Seeing the start of the
where
mental
did that
journey?
start for
So
you?
look, I'll never forget 2016. I was 19. I was about to drop out of college and I came across Ty Lopez. I saw him with his Lambo and his books and it caught my attention.
So Lambos and books.
Lambos and books caught my
work.
attention.
Oof.
Shout out to Ty Lopez in 2016. I was 19 and I saw a video where he was like, you know what's more powerful than this Lambo? These books,
Knowledge.
man.
Ooh, hold on.
Knowledge.
Let me hit the oof real quick. Hold on.
And then he started then stating quotes from Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, all these top high-level guys. And I was like, well, what is he trying to say, you know? Then he started saying a self-education will make you a fortune, right? A formal education will just make you a living. So and I was like, dang, here I am in
Oof,
college.
hold on, bro. We got to hit it one more time.
Yeah.
Repeat that.
Self-education will make you a fortune, right? A formal education will make you a living.
Empresarios.
That's what got me right there. I said, damn, all this guy's telling me to do is I just got to self-educate myself and I can create my own fortune. So that sparked a fire in me. I was 19 and because of him and the knowledge I was starting to learn, I remember I went to my advisor at GCU, Grand Canyon University. I was like, hey, bro, how do I just don't want to be here anymore. He was like, are you sure, man? You're throwing away your life. You know, you'll never be anything without a college degree. He said, I was like, bro, bullshit. Please give me my papers. What do I got to do, bro? I want to get out of here. He was like handcuffing me.
Give me my papers.
Like, no, man.
He didn't want to let you go?
No. He was like, dude, you got a full scholarship. You even got a grant, whatever. You're going to have to pay
Where'd you get a
that back,
scholarship?
bro.
How'd you get a scholarship to GCU?
Baseball?
So not when I was I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, you know, I had a guy who would pass me some tests, and you know,
Oh, you were smart, huh?
I was a little
connects.
smart. You
Yeah,
know,
okay, got
now
it.
I consider myself somewhat smart, but I wasn't book smart. I'll be real. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
always the hands-on guy.
But you were smart enough to find the smart guy. Oh, oof.
I always found
Empresarios.
no, straight up.
I found Sal. Oof.
I was always smart enough to find the smart guy. But then when I got to the point of, damn, I can't do these tests anymore, man. I started to tell myself I need something else. So college just wasn't for me. So when I went to the advisor, I was like, look, bro, this ain't for me, man. I'm gonna go become a millionaire somewhere else. But he was like, oh, good luck.
You told him you were going to become a millionaire,
I
bro?
told him that, bro. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go become
Bro,
an
can you
entrepreneur.
imagine, bro?
Bro, that's the affirmations, bro.
I
I'm going
recorded.
to become a millionaire. I'm out of here.
You've seen the video. I recorded myself leaving January 9th, 2017.
Yeah.
I recorded myself leaving and I said, hey, college ain't for everybody. it's probably not for you, you know. And I said, I'm gonna pursue my career of becoming an entrepreneur, and I will be successful. And I said, thank you, God. And that was it.
Oh, wow.
And from
You
there,
filmed it?
I filmed it, bro. I have it on my Instagram.
Damn, bro.
That's
Yes,
crazy, bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
After this, I'm gonna pin it on my IG.
Do
So
it.
people can see it. But
that.
that was the spark of it all
That's
right there.
fire.
And I went home in my 2001 Dodge Ram, and I was like, I just showed up and my mom was home, and I was like, hey mom, I just dropped out of school. She was like, well, you're a man. She was like, good luck. What are you gonna do now? Like, don't worry. I was like, I'll do something. You know. And then
Great
that's
support.
the whole time though. While I was going to school to college, I had this part-time job working for another landscaper, right? And now I'm consuming. I was seeking the knowledge. I'm consuming it. I invested into Ty Lopez's courses, and I said, damn, it caught my attention one day when he said, I don't care if you own a construction company. If you become a genius at branding, marketing, and sales, you can become a millionaire in anything you want to do. So I said, okay, damn, like, what do I got to do? So then he had a course for like $197, $297, $500. I bought them all. The money I was making with this guy working part-time.
You were buying Ty Lopez courses?
I was buying Ty Lopez courses, bro. I was like,
Hey.
this guy's got a Lambo. I want a Lambo one day. Straight up.
It worked.
See,
It worked,
that-
bro.
there's
Yeah.
power
I
in
love that,
Yes.
bro.
There's a power in that. In
Jesus.
order to change a life, you got to attract a life. And I
That's
learned
right.
that from you.
That's right.
I learned that from Carlos.
That's right.
Mhm.
And
We got away from that, Sal.
we did.
We got
did.
away from
well,
that.
We became a little extra humble.
Yeah.
And,
Super humble.
I mean, I became a father of 2 kids.
Bro,
So,
you
but
got
I-
rid of your Lamborghini Urus. You got rid of your Lamborghini Aventador, your dream Aventador, bro.
Yeah.
We was complaining.
But bro,
about
at
the
one
car,
point it's a
bro.
spark
Damn,
though.
bro.
You know what I mean? It lights
Yeah.
a fire.
Yeah.
No,
that's
no, no.
true.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean?
Listen, Sal and I are already thinking about buying some supercars this year.
Rolls Royce is coming soon, bro.
Yeah.
We want Ghost. We want to be the Ghost Brothers.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's the Ghost
The
Brothers.
Ghost Brothers. huh?
All in
Cerebros.
All in Ghosts.
Who you gonna call?
Ghost Brothers.
Ghost Brothers.
So it was that knowledge, just
So-
feeding my brain, bro. And then the most important thing was applying it. That was like action.
Mm.
Because I was like, all right, I'm reading these books, Think and Grow Rich, learn about Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie, the Rockefellers, and all this. You know, and Thomas Edison trying the light bulb over 1,000 times, whatever. I was like, I just got to try things. So my first ever attempt was I got Ty Lopez's social media marketing course in 2017. And the money I was making part-time working for a landscaper, I got some suits. I went and bought like 3 suits, right? I bought
To do landscaping?
No, to go door to door and sell social media marketing.
Oh wow.
What?
Yes. I bought a blue suit and I have pictures of this
Bro,
stuff, bro.
yo.
I bought an all blue suit,
That's a dog right there.
Yeah.
an all burgundy suit,
Yeah.
and then an all gray suit.
I got to see these suits,
I know.
bro.
I'm gonna show you guys. I have it in one of my phones. I do.
Color
I
suit.
do.
Yeah, the burgundy, got
And
the
bro, I
burgundy.
never forget.
Documented
I
everything.
would
That's
go to my mom's room and I'd be like, take a picture of me, mom.
Hey, how
Take a
good did you
picture.
feel?
I felt great, bro. I felt on top of the world.
I
I was
felt like
already a millionaire in my mind.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
I was.
Oof.
And I had this little watch that was like $45, fossil, whatever.
Let's go.
And I tell my mom, tome una foto. Take a picture.
You got it?
I do. I have them all, bro.
You got to, did you send it to
I'm
him?
gonna-
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
gotta send it.
remind me
Okay,
after this.
yeah.
And it was like all confidence in the world because I'm consuming these balls. Oh, Thomas Edison tried this 1,000 times. Boom, boom, boom. Henry Ford. Damn, here's Virgil B. Contreras. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I went to Scottsdale, just started knocking doors. Now, remember, I was learning social media marketing. All I had to do is create their Facebook page, create their IG, start posting for them, start branding them, start doing this. And then
I love you changed your
Bro.
voice when you said that.
I failed. I just failed. You know, I kept knocking doors. Boom, 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 boom.
Wait, nobody wanted to hire you, bro?
No.
Hold on, bro.
How
You
many
went into some
failures?
random neighborhood and you were trying
No,
to sell social.
Scottsdale. I went to chiropractor.
You went to
Oh,
where the
okay. You went
money is.
B2B.
You went into
Yes.
where the
You went
money is.
B2B. You went business to business.
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to do their marketing.
Yeah.
Because here I was learning
Yeah,
social
right,
media
right,
marketing from Ty Lopez, right?
They should have listened, bro. Because look at now, right?
Yeah.
But bro, I landed one customer.
Mm.
It was a
Out
painter.
of how many? Out of how many?
Out of I don't know. I probably shot at like 30 people.
Damn,
Yeah.
you didn't even have to do 1,000. That's
I know.
great. Yeah, shit.
But here's the thing. I gave up.
Mm.
I gave up because I was like, dang, like now I gotta fulfill. What do I do? Like I didn't know what I was doing this whole time
Yeah.
until it finally hit me. You know, I kept working for this guy part-time And then I was like, man, I'm just gonna start a landscape business and just promote.
Bro,
I'm already learned on social media.
Hold on, my dude went from door knocking, business to business,
in suits.
selling social media marketing. You know, I'm just gonna become a landscaper, bro. That seems easier, right? Like, no, it
Now he's
doesn't.
good at landscaper.
It's not.
But a little bit
It's good
before
that it
that,
failed.
Yeah,
but
hell
bro, a
yeah,
little
of
bit
course,
before that, I
yeah,
tried
yeah.
what you guys do. I tried wholesaling.
You
That
tried
failed.
wholesaling?
I teamed up with the real estate agent. We'd go in the car and try to find these properties,
Mhm.
and then we get off, foreclosures and knock.
Mm.
And I just kept failing. And then I'd be like, oh, bro, let's keep going. And then that little venture stopped because I just gave up. So I tried that. And then I went into the landscape, like as my own, like to have my own business. Because this whole time, I call 2017 my experimental year because I tried all that.
Wow.
Until the
That's
end,
huge. That's huge.
where I said, you know what, man, I know I could be successful at landscaping because I've been working with this guy for a year and a half. I just got to promote myself, brand myself, do some marketing, and then start mowing some lawns.
Yeah.
And I did. I quit working for that guy. He was like, good luck in your endeavors, and then
It's
I
what's
never looked back.
what's crazy is the saying like 3 feet from gold. If you stop, you quit, you're not going to be successful. But in your story, I see why you're successful now because you got landscaping, which is the cornerstone of
My
your
baby.
education, right? You got online marketing, you learned. The real estate got you in the sales game.
yes.
So now you got like all three of these things, and then that's when you blew up.
Ooh,
That's
yes,
when you just
that's
you
what
didn't-
it is right
You
there,
didn't
the experience.
stop, but you combine
Oh,
all of them,
nice,
and then boom.
Zady.
And I just kept telling myself, yeah, like I'm stopping and I'm giving up on the businesses that I'm trying, but this is taking me somewhere. I'm learning. I'm failing forward.
Yeah. Oof.
I just kept failing forward. And then the last one was, I said, all right, landscaping, I know I can do this one for sure.
Because you've been doing it.
'Cause I've been
Yeah,
doing
dude,
it.
yeah.
All you
Just-
need is customers.
All I need is customers. All I need to know is how to create a brand and how to market myself, how to run ads, how to invest into paid advertising, how to just continue to, learn sales in front of a customer. So I got very good at talking to people, becoming a chameleon, becoming a mirror, understanding customers' needs, right?
Yeah.
And then just fulfilling
You know what that's called, by the way? That's called the process.
the process, bro.
See, most people, right? They don't trust the process.
They want to skip it.
They don't trust the process, right?
Skip it.
They didn't know. They don't know, or how would you have known that learning social media marketing was going to be a huge tool for you a few years down the road, right? How did you know that speaking to or networking and speaking in the real estate world, wholesaling, right? That was going to also help you with sales and networking and relatability, right? And with your landscaping company. So again, trust the process. Most people, when they're going through it, right? They don't even know that it is a process. Hey, you're going through the process right now. It's okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Something will give. Something will give.
Trust the process, lock in, stay focused on the task at hand, and don't ever compare yourself to other people. That's one thing I did great.
Comparison.
Early on, I did the little comparison. We all do, especially as men.
Mhm.
But then I said, man, forget this, bro. I'm never going to compare myself to another man. I just need to outwork the Virgil from yesterday
Mhm.
and just lock in, and that's it. And I've done
That's
that ever
huge.
since, and
That's huge.
success.
And Sal, before you say that, I just want to do a call to action real quick. Hey, listen, for anybody out there that's watching or listening, you can become part of this movement. Okay. If you are in your early stages of building a business, all right, text the letter E to 623-292-7575 or text the word empresario to 623-292-7575. Now, if you're already a multiple six-figure business owner, or you're a 7-figure business owner, and you want to build and scale your business efficiently, right? With the help from Virgil, from Sal, and myself, go ahead and text the number 7 to 623-292-7575. Text the number 7 to 623-292-7575. Now, Sal, before you make the point that you were going to make, this is what I'm hearing from Virgil right now, right? Is this: most people have that spark that we all have about wanting to be successful, about wanting to be the best version of ourselves, right? Okay, most people have that spark. Some people listen to that spark and begin their personal development journey. Few people implement and execute what they learned when it comes to their personal developments, right? And only 1% of all of those individuals actually succeed. How crazy is that?
It's incredible.
You went
bro.
from most to some to few to 1%.
Law of average.
Huh?
Law of average.
Well, there it is. So make your point.
Well, I was trying to. You said the process. That's a profound statement, because most people think the process is laid out. The fundamentals of the process is laid out. But I'm gonna highlight your example. You went into online marketing for other people. You thought you're gonna be a millionaire in marketing, social media marketing and whatnot, for other people. You did not think that the process wasn't you're gonna be the guy promoting your business. Your business was the marketing to make other people successful with their market, with your marketing skills. Well, when you failed at that, it forced you into doing your own thing. And that was the process. The failure in itself was the process. But people don't forget to see that. People don't look at the failure as a process, as they're failing.
It was
forward.
part of the
Failure is
process.
the process right
Yeah.
there,
It was
That
bro.
part of
is
the process.
That is the process.
Cerebro.
And if there is any way to explain it in a more simplified way, the only consistent thing in business is change itself. So if you're refusing to change, if you want to go by this process that you think how it's going to look like, you might write it down. And writing it down today may look like from step 1, 2, 3, all the way through 10. If you're stuck with that, there's a big chance that you're not going to succeed.
That's right.
Because you're refusing to go against that. Because the one thing that's consistent in business is changing itself. So,
Man.
so that becomes the failure in itself is part of the process, because that's what's called an X factor. What's your X factor? What's your X factor? What's
Virgil's X factor?
Well, single mom. He has to look out for her. He's alone. No one is going to look out for him. He has the stamina. You're young. You are not afraid of work. I mean, you have the work ethic. You're not afraid of working. And if you failed, you thought in your mind that one extra piece. Most Mexicans have that. Most immigrants have that. Most Mexicans have that.
Naturally, yeah,
Is they have all those 4 things, right? Not all of them maybe have a missing father, but they all have those work ethic things. Most of them do, not all. However, most of not successful ones don't have that one missing piece, which is listening to somebody else. Like you listen to Tai Lopez, and he's the one who showed you there's this extra thing that you can learn. You read a book, it's more powerful than owning a Lamborghini. That's way better than a Lamborghini. Just that one little piece of information. You had all those 4 elements going for you. But when you added that 5th element, nucleus reaction happened. And most people don't really pay attention to that. They're stuck with those other things that they have because everybody else has them. They don't look into their own X factor and say, you know what, I can make it. If somebody else can make it, you should be an inspiration. You're an inspiration. You're an inspiration. People who make it out of the gutter are the inspiration for other people.
That's right.
That's right.
And use your X factor to that.
You know, the most successful people in this world are those who can adapt quickly. Think about that for a second. Think about, let me hit the oof button on that one.
The
Right?
roof on that one,
It's
bro.
true.
Empresarios.
I like it. Every time I hit it, you got to come in.
I'm
right?
already on it, bro. All
right.
We're quick.
So,
We're
yes
that
or no?
quick.
The most successful people in the world are those that are able to adapt very quickly.
That's right.
No, again, you have this little roadmap, right? You're like, oh, you know, step 1 looks like this. Step 2 looks like this. Step 3 looks like this. Step 4, step 5, I'm making millions of dollars. And then you're like, you get on step 1 and then you're like, holy smokes, dude, this completely took me into a whole different direction that I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to adapt to this.
Oof. Let me just stop.
You know what? I'm just going to quit. You know, I had a Virgil, you gotta hear this one. I had a very powerful call yesterday with a group, one of our groups with the All Inside. And there was a gentleman there that he just launched a pet spa. This guy launched a pet spa with his wife.
Pet spa.
A pet spa. Right?
San Francisco, right?
God bless him, by the way. Yeah, he has one in San Francisco. He did about 600, but he just launched a pet spa down somewhere else and only did about 90 last year in 1 quarter, right? So it might do 300 to 400 this year, a pet spa.
That's gross.
And I asked, gross sales, gross revenue. And I said, hey, brother, I said, is this like a passion for you? You know, like pets? You like dogs? Right? Right? Because I'm his coach. I'm supposed to tell him the truth.
And you need answers.
Right?
Yep.
He's like, well, my wife's been doing it for 12 years. I said, okay. I said, brother, so you do understand that you're never going to really, I mean, it's going to be very hard for you to actually get wealthy off of this pet spa, right? What are the chances, Sal, of someone getting wealthy off a pet spa, Sal?
The chances are lower, yeah.
What percentage out of
I
100?
hope I know, but
You got to be already known. You got to be a
Yeah,
big
or
celebrity.
Beverly Hills
I
or
mean,
something. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like 1 out of 1,000, maybe 1 in a million,
Gotta have
something
the
like that,
clientele,
right?
the odds are
like-
against you.
The odds are heavily against you, right? And I told him, I said, brother, I said, are you in business, you know, to serve your purpose? Or are you in business to make money and serve your purpose? Because if you make money, you can serve your purpose to a higher level. You can go rescue some dogs, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Whatever,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
So that's what I told him. I said, brother, if I was in your shoes right now, I can't speak for your wife. Your wife's been doing this for a while and she should, you know, she's an expert. You're not an expert, bro. I said, if I was in your shoes right now, I would look into roofing, HVAC, landscaping, real estate, right? I would look into flooring. I would look into all these other ventures, and you're going to be able to build and scale those ventures a lot quicker, and your net profitability is going to be a lot higher, right? And guess what? You can probably even exit that business at some point. But a pet spa, that's going to be rough, bro. So I just yesterday what I did, brother, is like I grabbed him and I shook him because he hired me to coach him, right? So I have to tell him, I have to speak to him from the future.
Right.
That's what I was trying to do with this.
You're looking
individual.
out for him.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But let's talk about that, right? We started this show talking about how Mexican Americans, all we know how to do is work hard and never smart. We know how to work hard. We know how to bend our freaking backs and break our backs and lay bricks and do, you know, tile and paint. Like we know how to really exhaust our bodies until we're 60 or 70 years old. And for very little money, to be quite honest with you.
And still work at 70 years old.
And still work at 70 years old, right? But here's what we don't know how to do, man. We don't know how to build a business. We don't know how to build a business. We don't know how to delegate, how to expand, how to duplicate ourselves in the company, how to create or build a business to where it's not only sustainable without us, but it can even grow in our absence. We don't know how to do that, bro. When did that start for you?
I would say when I was probably 2-3 years in.
Mm-hmm.
Probably say
So I was just you for 2 to 3 years.
yeah. I'd probably say year 3. That's when I realized, and it took almost breaking my back. I have a scar on the bottom of my thumb. I accidentally cut myself. I was trimming a tree one time, and I needed 7 stitches, so I wrapped it up. Right, and I'm working by myself right at the time, and then the next day I went back. I was still working, and I had to pick up the gate on one of my landscape trailers. And because I couldn't use this hand, I used one, and I bent kind of awkwardly, and I snapped something in the bottom of my back. And I said, damn, bro, here you are just working by yourself, ignorant. I called myself ignorant in my mind. I said, bro, you need to start hiring people. What are you doing? You know, you're going to stay stuck like this working until you're 60, and you're going to have a broken back. I mean, I almost broke my back at that time. So it took me to go through that to realize I need to start hiring people. So I just remember I was posting on Instagram, and then I said, I just put it out there. You know, I'm hiring for my landscape company. If you know how to mow lawns, how to trim trees, reach out. Started getting a few little calls here and there from my Mexican people. Obviously, all the calls coming in Spanish. And I said, all right, man, I had a little bit of fear, right? I was scared. I was like, well, damn, now instead of me making, you know, 10K a month, I probably gonna have to make a little bit less because now I gotta hire somebody. But then I said, dang, okay, let me go down a little bit so then I could come back up
Like a slingshot.
quick. I trusted that process. So then I remember hiring my first crew as a set of 3 guys. And I was like, all right, dang, okay, I'm going to pay these guys, you know, $20 an hour, 22, 25, whatever. I started doing some math. I was like, okay, boom, here we go. So then I said, all right, These guys, though, are going to help me get out of the business so I can work on the business and not stay in. All I got to do is just become a master marketer, sell, right? Bid jobs every day, and I just feed these guys. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what I did, right? But it took that for me to just realize, let me go down a little bit in my bank account, right? Delegate that part. I'm no longer physically working now, and it paid off. I just started focusing on building the brand. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, AZ Top Landscaping, boom, boom, boom. Calls coming in, and I'm feeding these guys. So I built one crew, and I had enough to then feed a second crew. And I was like, that's all I got to do is just build the team and me just focus on bidding.
Getting them the business.
That's what I've done ever since.
This is I want to add spirituality to this, man, because not everybody has the ability to run the business. Not everyone has it. But what happens is if you do have that ability and you're not doing it, what happens? You're selfish.
Yeah.
Because you're only feeding yourself.
That's right.
And what happens is in your situation, in your guys' situation, you start pouring your cup into other people's cup. So you got 6 families eating because what you're doing. Guess what? What's God going to do when you're emptying your cup onto others? He's going to fill up your cup even more.
That's very true. And I did see it that way as well. Because I was like, as an entrepreneur, that's what we do, right? We help other people. We feed other families. And I am connected with that, bro. With God, I told myself too. I was like, just take care of your people. Treat them right.
God will take care of you.
God will take care of me. Yeah. And he has ever since. So that's what it took. You know, for me to just escape that little mental part of the fear and everything all caught up together of, bro, just do it. Let's go.
So you went from being the owner operator that was branding, marketing, sales,
labor,
right? Handling the financials, right? The accounts payable, accounts receivable, taking in, just everything on the finance side, right? Looking at your books every month, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You were the admin, right? You were the admin in your company. So you played every role and in every department in your business by yourself. So what was the first hire you made? Was it labor?
Labor.
Let me tell you why I'm making that point. Because you hired, the first thing that people should hire is what takes the most amount of time from them in the business.
And that doesn't give them the payouts that it should.
Explain that part.
So some things that may take a lot of time, but it doesn't give you the money. So the money-making activities should be your focal
marketing
point as a business owner.
Exactly.
It should be the money-making activities. You laying down the bricks or you are actually doing the landscape is not the money-making activity.
Compared to marketing and sales.
Compared to anything else.
Well, no, but in his job,
side.
in his job specifically.
As an owner, yes. And the owner operators, I think I've done that before when I thought back in the day when I was running it all, I thought that was me saving money and I'm going to do it best because I'm the owner operator. I know how to do it best. No one else can do it better than me. And that's how you see a bunch of Bob the plumbers, where you see somebody who's 60 years old, who is the marketer, who is the salesperson, who is the guy that's actually doing the plumbing or doing whatever it is. And the guy's doing accounting and the guy's dealing with customer service and he's doing it all.
And he's capped with the amount of money that he
because
can make
they think that the biggest value they bring is actually the work itself into that, the actual skill labor versus the everything around the business. And that's what I think most Mexicans focus on, the skill labor, as this is the highest skill they have versus everything else. And they neglect everything else. So what you did is you switched gears. You had the skill. You said, let me acquire something else. Let me add more skills to my skill. And marketing skills acquired, sales skills acquired, running the business acquired, and boom. That was full circle.
To add to that, though, the journey has to include that part. Like if you skip the labor, how are you going to hire someone and know that they're doing what they should be doing, right? Yeah. Then they could be giving you whatever excuse they give you. And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, he couldn't do the job because X, Y, and Z. But because you did the labor, no one could pull the wool over your eyes.
I think that's very important. You got to know what you're selling, right? You got to know your business for sure.
So, like you were saying, brother, you hired what was taking the most amount of time from you and what was giving you probably one of the least amount of return on time as far as the dollar per hour. At that point, like, dude, I can hire someone for X amount of, $25 an hour, and they can be there 8 hours while I'm going and looking at different new projects or potential new opportunities.
And in my world, in the contractor world, as a landscape contractor, that's how you get into the millions,
That's
the
right.
revenue. It's like having the right team, right? The right assistant, the right sales process, the right crews, the keeping them in check, the making sure sites are being done how they should, the work, taking care of the customers, right? Just full operation. But delegating everything, man. So for the contractor out there watching, that's just him and another guy, bro, you're going to have to step it up and not be scared of hiring and delegating, because that's what's going to get you to work on the business.
Well, let me ask you that though, right? Especially in the trades. Why are owner operators in the trades such hoarders? Like they just want to keep the work to themselves. They don't trust anybody. They don't want to let go of the vine. They don't want to make investments in hiring people, right? Putting together better systems and processes.
I think this is too risky.
What is it?
It's too risky, bro. I think so. You feel like it's
well,
too
then
risky.
If you think that most business owners out there in the trades think the same thing.
Yeah, the truth is it's fear, bro. Straight up.
Fear.
Because then you think like, dang, like, how am I going to feed? How am I going to get more projects? Like, is this going to work? Am I going to be in business for a long time? I think it's a mental game.
Like, bro, that crew that you hired at first, they just freed up like 8 hours of your work.
Yeah.
What are you going to go do with it? You know what you should do with it? Money making activities.
That's right.
Right? Go do what I call the unscalable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the unscalable? It's the few things that only you as a business owner can do that is very difficult to hire out.
Can't replace.
Yeah.
Right? That's what that's
for
what
me,
every business owner needs to
being
do.
on camera with my business page, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Today, that's what it is. Maybe next year will be different.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
I tagged Edgar Segovia. I tagged you on Edgar Segovia's post. Did you see it? With the flooring. He was taking the flooring.
In there, yeah.
Brother, every business owner in the trades that comes to me and that wants to learn about marketing, I always use you as an example as business branding and personal branding.
Yeah.
And sure thing, look what he was doing, right? He's at the job site. He got the music going. He's carrying the loads, right? He's having so much fun, bro.
Yeah.
Running that flooring business this year.
Bro. I love it.
So that was it was inspiring to see that, right? And then that's why I tagged you. I'm like, look, someone's actually paying attention. Someone's actually following your advice. Your example.
You're
you know
his
what I mean?
style.
Changing their life. Yeah.
Exactly, bro.
There you go.
You're his
Wow.
style.
Right there.
You're como Teofimo. Teofimo. Ty's kind of kind of an American name, right?
Okay.
Teofimo is maybe.
I'm Virgil B. Contreras.
There it is. There it is. Another thing, bro, that I always tell people is, everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to make more money. Every business owner wants to make more money. This is what I always say. You want to make more money? Serve more people.
Oof.
You want to make more money? Serve more people. Well, if you're the only person in your landscaping company or your roofing company, how many people can you really serve?
Capped.
There's a bottleneck. There's a ceiling. Well, the only way that your company is going to serve more people is if you have more people.
You fire yourself.
Well, first of all, you got to find more people to serve through marketing and promoting and branding. But then you also got to hire more people to be able to serve or service all those new people that you're going to be serving. So, right, it's kind of a beautiful kind of vicious cycle.
And that's the thing about currency. It's like, it's always going to be there, man, for other contractors watching all the trades. There's always going to be money for everybody and food for everybody to eat. It's just who's hungry, man. Like, who wants it better? That's what it comes down to.
What do we always talk about? We always say, you want to make more money, serve more people, right? What do we say? Jeff Bezos serves millions and makes billions.
Serves
Elon
most
Musk.
people, yeah.
Elon Musk serves millions and makes billions, right? Athletes, NBA, NFL,
Fill up a
MLB.
stadium, 60,000 people.
They
watching every
serve
day.
millions of people that are watching, and
Entertain 'em.
70 or 100,000 people in the arena that are watching too. They're serving. That's why they get paid the millions of dollars, man. They're just serving a lot of people.
That's right.
So, when we started this movement, and this is such a great, it couldn't have come at a better time. Remember we were on our first inaugural Empresarios Inner
A couple
Circle
weeks ago, yeah.
call,
Yeah.
and we asked, you go, hey, how many of you in this group are first generation Mexican American business owners? Over 90% of them said me. Me. Right now in 2025, this is the wave
It is.
of
Perfect
Mexican American, first generation Mexican American people or sons or daughters that are taking over their immigrant dads or moms' businesses. So guess what? Right? They forget at least they have the spark. At least they have the spark of, man, I watched my dad kill himself for 30 years in this flooring business, and I didn't really see him advance much. We didn't make a lot more money. We didn't buy a bigger house. We didn't buy better cars or bigger cars, right? So these first generation Mexican American business owners that are taking over their parents' businesses, they're already like, man, I got to do something different, right? Because if I want something different, then I have to do something different, right? Because if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be where you've always been.
Stay stuck.
See what I'm saying? So they already have that spark. And then you got Virgil and you got myself, right? You got the empresarios coming through, and we're saying, hey, we can help you with what you're looking for right here.
And another thing that I feel like is perfect timing, God's timing is always perfect, is right now there's a lot of negative propaganda out there, so it's dark. So when the beacon of light comes, it's going to shine brighter. Where if everything was light, the light that you guys are providing might have been washed out a little bit. But I think it's so dark right now that this light is going to shine really bright, bro. It's going to light up everything.
It already is.
It already
It already is. And we're just very grateful.
Yeah.
We're very
I'm
grateful
grateful to be
to
a part of it, man.
yeah, to how the
Patos Locos
audience
forever.
Patos Locos for life.
So
It's
anyway, Virgil, we'll definitely have a part 2 of this specific episode, right? Let's just go around the room and just some closing statements. Virgil, what do you got to say about
I would say to all my contractors and trade people out there, join Empresarios if you guys want to be a part of the greatest Mexican American movement of all time.
Oof.
With myself and with Carlos Reyes, and a great team around us and behind us. And don't be scared, man. Let the fear go. Stop focusing on the negative energy in life. Let's focus on nothing but positive vibes. That's what you're gonna get here at Empresarios. We don't take no for an answer. Everything that we set our minds to, we can do. Man, I'm excited for all the people that we're having our first event tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
The 7-figure blueprint.
7-figure blueprint, Empresarios. And I'm excited for all the people that are going to continue to join. So what a great movement to be a part of, man.
Absolutely. Mr. Zady.
I'll say, no hablo español, pero te voy a tratar como si fueras familia. And I mean that genuinely, man. If you guys want to get a part of this movement, DM these guys, ask to have Zady call. Bro, I'll call and I'll get them on the phone on FaceTime. Talk directly to them. We'll get out of the way. I'll just be the plug for you. I know our event's sold out, but if you're in Phoenix, actually, this is going to air afterwards,
Just
bro.
try to get you on the next one.
Try to get in touch, man. And there's so much more being offered. So just ask, and we'll give you the ladder.
DM was the number 7.
That's right.
Yeah, DM
That's
7,
right.
bro.
Sal, what are some of your closing statements?
I'm gonna echo what we kind of said earlier, but the X factor. I think most Mexicans, minorities, are you guys have hardships, and use that hardship to do better. If you're stuck doing the same thing for the last 12 months, maybe 2 years, 3 years, even a few months, what are you gonna lose? Try something different. Try what Virgil did. Try what Carlos did. Try what I did. Try what Zady did. And try something different. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. You can always go back to it. But at least try something different. Right. Use that X factor to fuel your fire, because you guys came from hardship. You come from another country. You're trying to do better, but you settling for this is not you doing better. You're doing yourself and your family a disservice. So tap into your X factor and light that fire up.
Let's go. Well, with that being said, right, if you enjoyed the show, please do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the show, okay? Because of you, over the last 28 days, we've had over 6,300 people, new subscribers actually, because of you. So thank you so much for spreading the word. The other thing that I do have to say, again, if anybody out there that's watching and listening, and this resonated with you and you want help from Virgil, you want help from myself, you want help from Sal, you want help from the Empresarios community, right? The Empresarios organization, all you have to do is, depending on where you are in your business, okay, if you're already ready to scale this thing to multiple 7 figures and you just need the game plan, right? You need the formula, you need the blueprint, text the number 7 at 623-292-7575. Or if you're early in your entrepreneur journey and you need some help, you want to become part of weekly trainings, then text the letter E or the word empresario to 623-292-7575. So we'll catch you next week. Thank you so much for joining the show.